What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Going into r/deciding to be better today, so let's get to it. Our first story comes from user Razvan Claudio. Depression is a biatch, and it's obsessed with us, people who are looking to grow and improve. Like many of you, I've been depressed so many times it's just business as usual. Stuff like losing interest in daily activities, decreased sex drive, loss of hope and energy are usually just another Monday morning. And the mistake is that we've accepted this to be the status quo, that it is okay to be depressed. Well, it's not. Because 1 hour when you're inspired and full of energy helps you accomplish more than 1 day when you're depressed. This is what people don't take into account. People think hard work is all that matters, but there is that intangible element to hard work, to what you're doing. You can call it mojo or conviction or a state of flow or inspiration or whatever rings true for you. And when you're in that state, you are creatively solving problems. You are 100% in the moment. You're looking at things not from a perspective of, can I do this? But how can I do this? I'll give you an example. When I'm depressed and I swipe on Tinder, I tell myself, here are some girls that are so pretty and no matter what I'll do in my life, I'll never date them. They'll never like me. My shoulders slump, my breath becomes shallow, and I accept my fate. But the thing is that I've dated many of those pretty girls before. And while I'm not Brad Pitt, and while I'm not Bill Gates either, they've found me lovable and considered me to be worthy enough for them. But when this happened, I had good mojo. I wasn't depressed. So it is all perspective, really. You wake up depressed, the entire world is a mountain you can't climb. People don't like you, your nose is too big, your lips are too red, your belly is too big, your work is average, and you fear you'll be fired. You wake up inspired, the entire world is a playground. All them pretty girls smile to you. You look in the mirror and, who is this handsome, manly man? You do your work and you start wondering, why aren't you getting a promotion? It makes such a big difference. And believe me, I've been on both spectrums. I've been suicidal. I've been like a vegetable, staying in my underwear and watching Netflix all day or playing games. And I've kicked butt, being like a panther hunting prey and getting it. Depression sucks. And for better or for worse, well, for worse, most of us who are into self-development are depressed. If we weren't really looking to improve ourselves. But how do we cure depression? Honestly, I don't know. I mean, stuff works, like walking 10,000 steps in a day, or simply walking and spending time outside. Listening to classical music helps. Having a friend that's not a jerk and cares enough for you helps too, although that's very rare. Getting genuine attention from others helps. Therapy helps. But what helps most are support groups, ideally non-formal. This doesn't mean that we all need to gather in a circle and tell our story. It's not a matter of, hi, I'm John and I'm depressed, and everyone else saying, hello, John. It's more like 2 to 3 friends meeting for a beer or a Jack Daniels and talking about what's on their mind without fearing that they're seen as weak or not manly or whatever. Or even just a call. Even a video call where people take turns to talk and others listen does wonders. But what do you think can cure depression? What do you think is the solution for those that are basically functioning adults with high levels of depression? Thanks. Honestly, I don't think there really is a cure. It's something that a lot of society doesn't entirely understand. I've known very close people that have really struggled with it. And I'll tell you, seeing it firsthand, it's real. Seeing someone not be able to get out of bed because they just can't muster the energy, because they just don't see a point. I mean, there's really no way to combat that. There's really no cure for that. It's just something that they have to carry on their own. I think you're right. I think support groups for this sort of stuff really do help, and for very much the same reason of, like you kind of referred to with Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not saying depression is an addiction per se, although you could make the argument that some people are addicted to the attention they receive, but that's a whole different story. But the similarity being that with an addiction, it thrives on isolation. It thrives on keeping you secluded from people that could help because its lifeline is numbing the pain. Depression works in very much the same way, except instead of numbing the pain, it just piles it on even more. At least that's what I've seen. Beyond that, though, I think a lot more in your post is entirely spot on in that it all comes down to perspective. Yeah, maybe sometimes you wake up and life looks like it's gonna suck. Does that mean you don't go into work that day? Does that mean that you don't try and do the things just to take care of yourself? No. You still gotta do those things. And while it may suck to try and change your mindset, it's still doable. There's plenty of stories of people that have done that. I'm not going to claim that it's easy. I'm not going to say that you can just, snap your fingers and, wow, I'm cured. It takes a lot of work, even when you're not depressed, to change your mindset, to see things in a different light. And for someone dealing with depression, it's got to be even harder. But it is doable. And I think you're spot on with how essential that is. Thank you so much for sharing the post, and you've definitely given me a couple things to think about when I'm with the friends that I know struggle with this, and wherever you're at, I really do wish you the best. Our next post is from user Sergeant Major Mythic. But first, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can get more of your daily dose of Reddit Happy. Also, check out our social media at the Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon links in the description below. For those suffering from depression, whatever mental or physical condition you have doesn't define you. You are much more than that. There are very, very few people who are born with depression. You develop it. I know it can be hard to deal with. I've been there. And this isn't coming from someone who has had a very easy life. I've had 2 heart surgeries, ear surgery, 3 eye surgeries, and lung surgery, among others. I've almost flunked out of college, and I have a horrible, incurable disease that makes me ugly by most people's standards. However, I had an epiphany. Don't let life beat you. Life isn't worrying about your problems. Your depression isn't spending all of the energy you are worrying about everything. There's no good reason to spend your effort worrying about things you have no control over. All you yourself can do for you is try your best and take care of yourself. How do you take care of yourself? Force yourself to change your environment. And yes, you can do it. Get out of your room and take a walk in the sunlight. Studies show that vitamin D from the sun can improve your mood. Realize that many of your negative feelings are based on your brain chemistry and your environment, which you can change. Eat more fruits and vegetables. The nutrients will help you to be both physically and mentally healthier. Talk to more people. Isolation can exacerbate depression. Smile more. Smiling not only tricks your brain into thinking you're happy, but also attracts people around you. Don't be so hard on yourself when it comes to failure. Everyone fails. Most people fail often. That's okay. Just do a mental reset and try again, or change how you are trying. Ask for help if you need it, but be harder on yourself when it comes to standards, i.e., realize that you deserve to be happy. Talk to friends and family if you still have them. They can help and likely care more about you than you realize. Finally, see a therapist. I am not professionally trained in mental health. I'm just basing this advice off of personal experience. I hope this helps even just one person. Well, it's short, but I feel like this ties in with the first post extremely well. Are all these things going to work for everyone? No. Dealing with depression isn't a one-size-fits-all cure that everyone can jump on the bandwagon of. That having been said, though, there's some really good advice here that I think a lot of people should consider if they're trying to deal with that. I mean, take smiling, for example. I knew someone once who always said that you can hear someone smile on the phone, and it's true. I've tried it. When I've done voiceover delivery when I'm smiling versus just kind of a natural face, it's an entirely different tone, inflection, pitch, everything. You can literally hear someone smile, and it does kind of trick your brain into thinking that things are better than you're letting them appear to be. I mean, again, this isn't a list of things that's just going to magically cure it all. There's going to be a significant amount of effort on the part of anyone who's struggling, but like you said here, it is doable. And if someone fails, as hard as it may be to accept, that piece of advice about don't be so hard on yourself, I think that's accurate. People fail all the time, and no one knows when they're actually going to come into success. Colonel Sanders was retired and selling fried chicken door to door before he saw success, before he founded KFC. And love KFC or hate it, his story is a good example here because, as I understand it, he dealt with serious depression as well. And yet, look what he built in the latter years of his life. He didn't let failure hold him back, and really, neither should any of us. Even if we're dealing with depression, even if we're struggling, anything really is possible. So, thank you so much for sharing this advice, sharing what's worked for you, and wherever you're at right now, I really do wish you the best. That was r/deciding to be better, and if you're looking for more stories and posts about what people are doing to make their lives better, then go ahead and check out the playlist link in the description below. Now you guys go out there, have a great weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.